I declare the degree congregation open. Please take your seats. Distinguished guests, Mr. Mayor, graduates, family and friends, a very warm welcome to you all. As Chancellor, it's a great privilege to be sharing this very special day of graduation with you. Can I start by asking you to join me in thanking our musicians who've just played an anthem which was commissioned for us by our partners, the Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra, to be played at graduation ceremonies. Thank you very much. Graduation is an incredibly important event in your life, one which I hope you will never forget. You've worked very hard to get here, hard to get into the University of Exeter, hard to achieve your degree. There are very few moments in life when you can be so publicly congratulated on your success and be surrounded by the people who helped you achieve that success. Graduation is also an opportunity for the whole university to celebrate and to reflect on our history and values, values that connect us not just today, but forever through the contribution that you have made during your time studying and researching with us. Exeter has thrived in the southwest of England over the last 6 decades to become one of the very best universities in the world, indeed in the world's top 1% of universities. Each and every one of you has played your part in that success story. And now for many of you, this will be the beginning of a new chapter in your lives. We will watch with pride as you grow into the academic, professional, and citizens of the future. You're well on the way, and we hope that the values of this university will be guiding principles as you progress through your careers. So graduates, we're immensely proud of you. I hope that you will look back at your time with us here at Exeter as some of the happiest and most fulfilling times in your life. I look forward to meeting you all as I award your degrees, and I now call upon the Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Sir Steve Smith, to address congregation. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you, Chancellor. Welcome, everyone, and a very special welcome to our graduates. Today is your day, a chance for you to celebrate all that you've achieved during your time at this distinguished university. It's not only a rite of passage for you, but it's also a very important occasion for your families and your loved ones. Because although the focus of the ceremony is you, our graduates, we're also here to celebrate all of those who've encouraged and supported you. And we do appreciate that some of you in the audience may have made great sacrifices to support our graduates during their studies. So perhaps I could ask our graduates to join me in offering a collective heartfelt thanks to families and friends. Thank you. Graduation is also about celebrating each graduate's contribution to the University of Exeter's academic community. Each of you has written your own chapter in our history, and you should be very proud. We are certainly proud of you. For some of you, today is the beginning of a new relationship with your university as you join the worldwide community of over 120,000 alumni with whom we're still in touch. Our alumni are here to help you as you begin and then progress in your career. They have quite literally been here and done it, so please do make use of their expertise and their networks. They really want to help, and they would be really pleased to hear from you. Last year, over 1,000 alumni volunteered more than 11,000 hours to support University of Exeter students. For those of you returning for postgraduate degrees, we look forward to welcoming you back in the autumn. There's no doubt that University of Exeter graduates go on to do incredible things, and so will you. Our graduates pursue careers all over the world, and a University of Exeter degree is your passport to success in whatever walk of life you choose. Our graduates make a positive impact on the world around them, both professionally and within wider society. I hope that your time and achievements here will be something that will stay with you throughout your life. We will work hard to make sure that your university remains successful and that we can continue to make you proud of us. The University of Exeter is a forever institution and an anchor institution here in Cornwall. And we hope that your connection with us will be lifelong. It's a forever institution because the world's great universities will be here when the current pressures and challenges are long gone. The University of Exeter is one of the world's finest universities, and Exeter research and scholarship are transforming lives and societies around the world as well as here in the southwest of England. The university owes its origins to a group of people who raised funds to create a place of learning in Devon and Cornwall. Their aim was to provide the children of the southwest, and I quote, with as good a chance in life as children elsewhere in England, end quote. We never forget that aim. Today, we are a world-class university firmly anchored and proudly anchored in our region, working with our partners for the betterment of lives locally, nationally, and internationally. We care deeply about our community impact and contribution. The university contributes more than £1.1 billion a year into the economy and generates almost 11,000 jobs in the southwest. This includes more than £70 million in economic output and nearly 1,000 jobs across Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly. Over the last year, we've also made a global impact through our research in global health, in food and water security, in climate change, and global conflicts and terrorism, issues that are not only important, of course, for the university, but the world as a whole. We are very proud that one of our research teams from here in Cornwall, led by Professor Tamara Galloway, won the prestigious Guardian University Award for Research Impact this year for its research into the devastating impact that microplastic pollution can have on the health of humans and wildlife. And we also received the largest philanthropic gift in the university's history, a gift to our medical school. This was a £10 million donation from the Dennis and Murray Gillings Foundation to establish the Murray Gillings Neuroimaging Centre, a new facility which will double the number of the world's trials in Alzheimer's research and thus will affect the lives of many. Today we have students graduating from the Colleges of Humanity and later the College of Life and Environmental Sciences. Research in both these colleges is shaping and challenging how we think about our world, and all the disciplines represented here today are truly outstanding. This is demonstrated by the fact that both humanities and life sciences have been ranked in the global top 40 in the Leiden rankings for research quality in 2018. And I'm pleased to be able to report that on Friday we found out that the latest Shanghai academic ranking of world universities had placed our team working on ecology here in Cornwall as an outstanding 6th in the world. That's fantastic for a research group that's only been here for 14 years. Our students are also making an impact through their own research and actions. This year we're very proud that some of our Cornwall students are leading an all-female sailing crew which is, as we speak, crossing the Atlantic in a 72-foot scientific exploration vessel called the Sea Dragon in order to learn more about plastics pollution. Turning back to the university generally, just a few weeks ago, we found out that we'd been awarded once again a Gold Award for the quality of our teaching, one of only 10 Russell Group universities to have received that accolade. We constantly strive to put our students at the heart of everything we do, creating their education with us in partnerships. And we are very proud of our relationship with FXU, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank them for providing all students with wonderful support, wonderful social and sporting opportunities, and an all-round fantastic university experience. When this university was founded, back in 1955, we welcomed precisely 454 students onto the first year of their degrees. Later this year, around 5,000 new first years will be joining us. Today, Exeter is a destination of choice for many of the world's brightest young people from over 140 countries. More than 2/3 of our applicants last year who had A-levels were predicted to get 3 A's or better. And I must admit that many of us at this stage here, and certainly the person in this pulpit, may not quite have got the grades required to get a place at Exeter today. But whilst much has changed over the decades, Exeter's reputation as a creator of graduates of distinction and world-class education and research has remained the same. Graduates like you will transform the world for all of us, and I know that you will make us as proud of you tomorrow as we are today. So my final message is simply this: well done. Thank you for choosing the University of Exeter. Thank you for choosing Cornwall. Please never underestimate the transformative power of education. I passionately believe that education opens the door to a more successful and fulfilling life, as I truly hope it will for you all. Please stay in touch, because together we make this university one of the best in the world. To repeat, we are a forever institution, firmly and proudly anchored in our region, and we want you to be part of our community forever. But most of all, please do enjoy the day, your day, because you deserve all our sincere congratulations. Thank you.
I now call upon Dr. Tim Cooper to present the first cohort of candidates for awards.
Chancellor, by the authority of Senate, I present to you the following who've been deemed worthy to receive degrees of the University. In the College of Humanities, for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in History, Sarah Orley. Joel Daniel Clark. Joel Daniel Clark. Cora Crotty Joyce. Jonathan James Robert Cull. Annabelle Davies. Tom Edwin Charles Davis. Alina Jean de Villiers Hill. Camille de Souza. Charlotte Evans. Guy Gardner. Ellie Gilbert. Chandler Goddard. Lucille Carolyn Goldup. Billy Golden. Daisy May Hampton. William Holmes. Claire Hunt. Matthew James Jameson. William Robert Jeffrey. George William Jones. Rosanna Joyce Mary Keane. Chloe Lewis. Matthew Long. Megan Christine Longville. Sophie Eleanor Olivia Margeson. Eve McLaughlin. Emma McWalter. Liam Munt. Robert Parker. Stephen Platts. Melissa Joanne Robertson. Sophie Caroline Stansbury. Catherine Angela Thompson. Joe Williams. Yasmin Leah Wolven. In history and politics, Hussein Ali. William Gamble. Laura Hayward. Callum Perry. Kieran Redgewell. Dominique Elizabeth Sharma Clark. Honor Louise Taylor. In History and Politics with Environmental Law, Ruth Barsby. In History and Politics with Study Abroad, Anastasia Carol Burton. Christopher Levin. In History with Study Abroad, Charles Anderson. Caitlin Marks. Daisy May Wardale Roberts. In History with Sustainability, Maxen Williams.
I now call upon the public orator, Dr. Rob Magnuson-Smith, to present the first honorary graduand.
Mr. Robert Mccrum. Many who doubt the possibility of life after death proceed to their graves with little concern for the aftermath. Robert Mccrum has built his extraordinary career with the opposite approach. His quixotic ability to recognize the essential in literature has resulted in its everlasting availability. His writing captures the deeply consequential in the face of absurdity. He has dodged the Grim Reaper for the benefit of humankind. His biography is a startling chronology of personal and literary achievement. Robert has been an editor, journalist, novelist, memoirist, Peabody and Emmy Award-winning scriptwriter, and internationally recognized cultural historian. At Faber & Faber, from 1979 to 1996, he edited The Luminaries. Ted Hughes, Kazuo Ishiguro, Milan Kundera, Peter Carey, Paul Auster, Marilyn Robinson, Mario Vargas Llosa, Jane Ann Phillips, Harold Pinter, Orhan Pamuk, and many more. Jane Ann Phillips asked me to praise Robert for being, quote, astute, unwaveringly supportive, and kind. 2010 Nobel laureate Mario Vargas Llosa wrote me with the following statement. I was very lucky to be able to count Robert Mccrum as my friend, as well as my editor at Faber, during the years I lived in London. I took full advantage of his advice and vast literary knowledge and closely followed his magnificent work as a journalist and writer. I have in mind the formidable testimony he wrote of the tragedy he suffered and which furnished him with the raw materials to write a small masterpiece. To date, Robert has looked after 4 Nobel laureates, some of whom were virtually unknown at the time. He must have taken his first job description literally, At Faber, quote, he was expected to find the next William Golding. Britain's most recent Nobel Prize winner, Kazuo Ishiguro, wrote me with this: Robert literally discovered me. No recommendations or intermediaries. 3 stories in a brown envelope from a total unknown. And thereafter he championed me with passion, all the way to a Booker Prize win. On the page, he was my ideal editor. With each book we worked on, he was able to point to 2 or 3 crucial areas where, quote, something wasn't right. He never offered remedies himself. He just conveyed his sense of where something was wrong, then sent me away to work it out. After Faber, Robert served as literary editor of The Observer from 1996 to 2010, blithely producing erudite commentaries, reviews, and literary reflections. He also produced 7 novels, a biography of P.G. Wodehouse, the 9-part Emmy Award-winning television series, The Story of English, tracing the evolution and impact of the English language. In the States, the program was a sensation. Robert's uniquely public engagement exemplifies the best of Exeter University. It is particularly gratifying to honor him here in Cornwall, where William Golding lived and wrote for years. Any of Robert's accomplishments would be impressive on their own. Collectively, they represent the output of a literary icon dedicated to imbuing the world with consideration for the written word. What makes Robert Mccrum's career even more remarkable requires a note about his early encounter with death. On the 28th of July, 1995, Robert went to bed after a glass of champagne and woke up to find the left side of his body completely paralyzed. He'd had a massive stroke. His prognosis was dire. But he harnessed what he called his weird exhilaration to be alive and reaffirmed his faith in literature. What followed was an intimate exploration of his condition, My Year Off, Rediscovering Life After a Stroke. The book has become so successful, he is sought after for the very thing all good writers aim for: words for the ineffable. Like it or not, Robert has become what he calls, quote, a lightning conductor for a thunderstorm of physical calamity that is raging just over the horizon. Writers who don't flinch from the difficult requirements of authenticity, like Kierkegaard and Dostoevsky and Beckett, speak from continually refreshed shadows. Mccrum's book, Every Third Thought, from the Prospero quote about how often death comes to mind, appeared in 2017 and was serialized in Radio 4. It should be no surprise that Shakespeare's Fear no more, the heat of the sun is his favorite poem. He's not dead yet, by the way. He's right over there. His forthcoming book, Shakespearean, comes out next year. Chancellor, it is my honor to present Mr. Robert Mccrum for the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
Honoris causa.
I now invite our honorary graduate, Robert Mccrum, to address the congregation.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, fellow graduates and graduands, ladies and gentlemen, friends, thank you very much. This is such a great honor, with special meaning for anyone who was educated, as I was, in the West Country, whose families served in the Royal Navy, based in Devonport and Plymouth, and who grew up with the sea in his veins. I also have to tell you that this wonderful honor has given me, overnight, some much-needed credibility with the next generation. My 16-year-old nephew, Patrick Mccrum, for instance, is very impressed. Now, he told me at the weekend, now you have almost as many doctorates as O-levels. Speaking of exams, this moment reminds me that when I was in the sixth form in Dorset at Sherborne School for Boys, I came to Exeter University to the Northcote Theatre around 1968 to see an early production of Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett, an unforgettable experience. I can honestly say now that this performance changed my life. It planted the seed of theatre that continues to nourish my imagination. It taught me things about the English language I've never forgotten. And it demonstrated what a serious business comedy could be. As the great French writer Montaigne says, a statement echoed in every line of Waiting for Godot, we laugh and cry for the same thing. That night in Northcote Theatre also introduced me to possibly the finest and certainly the most profound writer in English from the last century, whose prose never ceases to be a revelation, a writer whose example I want briefly to share with you today. Like many of the greatest figures in the English tradition, Beckett was Irish, of course. Today, his reputation is for austerity and minimalism. As a young man, however, he was an avid cricketer. With Harold Pinter, this is a useful quiz fact, he's the only Nobel Prize winner to appear in Wisden. My Observer colleague, the deputy editor and the late Michael Davey, liked to tell the story of the time when, flying to Dublin on assignment, he found Samuel Beckett taking the seat in front of him on the Aer Lingus flight. Michael was agog to see how the great writer would pass the journey, especially when he pulled out a crumpled copy of The Guardian shortly after takeoff. But no, Beckett did not look at the news, or the arts pages, or the leaders, or the letters, or even the crossword. Instead, the Nobel laureate and author of Endgame, Murphy, Malone Dies, and Krapp's Last Tape turned to the sports pages and spent the flight happily studying the cricket scores from the county championship. Or so Michael always claimed. It's what my newspaper friends call a fact too good to check. No surprise there anyway. Cricket, as we all know, is also a metaphor for existential torture. Above all, Samuel Beckett articulates a vein of pessimism that's exhilarating in its clarity and well-suited for these disruptive times. Beckett's publisher once described walking with Sam through Paris in the sunshine. "Doesn't this make you so happy to be alive?" exclaimed the publisher. With a look of horrified anguish, Beckett replied, "I wouldn't go that far." The life of the writer, novelist, critic, poet, playwright, or journalist is fraught with many frustrations and disappointments. It's a roller coaster. Beckett knows this. Ever tried, he writes in Worsted Hoe, ever tried, no matter, ever failed. Fail again, fail better. Beckett also knows something I think we should never forget, that the satisfactions and pleasures of literature, education, and the arts are not a divine right. They require vigilance, courage, perseverance, and dedication. The creative life can be a bitter journey wrapped in despair within a merciless quest for meaning. Today, I'm happy to say, this whirligig seems to be on a temporary upswing. But still, with Beckett, let me encourage anyone amongst you for whom the glass seems half empty, or for whom things are falling apart or going down badly, fail again, fail better. Thank you very much.
I now call upon Dr. Tim Cooper to present the second cohort of candidates for awards.
Chancellor, by the authority of Senate, I present to you the following who've been deemed worthy to receive degrees of the University. In the College of Humanities, for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in English, Zikinda Ola. Natasha Charlotte Bassett. Alexandria Bell. Jacob Bull. Shannon Louise Burden. Nicholas William Butcher. Imogen Kappa. Yvonne Sarah Carroll. Benjamin Joshua Clark. Andrew Mark Clayton. Lucy Collins. Mia Darcy Collins. Amy Cox. Thomas Crane. Rebecca Davey. Rosemary Grace Lucy Day. Eliza Charlotte Eagles. Margarita Epifanio. Elizabeth Jane Foote. Megan Elizabeth Fursden. Victoria Grace Gardner. Casey Marie Gaylor. Claire Goodfellow. Emmy Griffin. Molly Angharad Griffiths. Oliver Hill. Alice Odette Liddon Horncastle. Emily Louise Humphreys. Charlotte Lapthorne. Sarang Lee. Daniel Leeming. Danielle Faye Linton. Chloe Grace McIntosh. Holly McKechnie. Polly Jane Miller. Estella Mosca. Adam Mohammed Morsi. Lauren Samantha O'Kill. Babajide Oleof. Bridget Margaret Pearson Miles. Katie Ann Phillips. Olivia Bree Grace Powdrill. Robin Jade Lucy Ranford. Jack Edward Rawlins. Chloe Natasha Rogers. Eleanor Smith. Alfie Stockwell. Harry Frederick Straw. India Savan Toomey. Valeria Tayan. Sophia Unger. Josephine Monica Rose Walker. Catherine Eileen Walker. Rachel Walsh. Isabel Rose Ward Lewis. Terry White. Eleanor Wilkins. Paige Will. Rebecca Wynne. In English and History, Carl Paul Alterner. Daisy Bartram Burke. Jennifer Bates. Melissa Francis Shahin. Joshua Cohen Morgan. Hannah Louise Davies. Martha Bethan Gathercole. Rachel Gordon. Rebecca Louise Morrison. James Munday. Lucy Jane Pearson. Amy Elizabeth Price. Jacob Daniel Eden Puddle. Elizabeth Margaret Rees. Joseph Louis Jude Vitek. Amy Woodhams. In English with History, Yasmin Baha. In English with Study Abroad, Shamina Eaton. Rosa Linda Parker.
I now call upon the public orator, Dr. Natalie Pollard, to present the second honorary graduand.
Miss Natasha Trethewey. Natasha Trethewey is a poet of the highest artistic distinction and social importance. She has served 2 terms as Poet Laureate of the United States from 2012 to 2014, as well as of her native state of Mississippi in 2013. Her writing addresses what she has called the need to avoid historical erasure and historical amnesia, and to foreground things that get left out of the record. This involves poetic scrutiny of paintings, photographs, and archival records, from which Natasha draws attention to what is overlooked, forgotten, and unacknowledged. My intention, she says, is to try to tell a fuller version of history, to consider things that might help change the future that we're headed to make a world that is more inclusive, just, and humane. Hers is writing that addresses some of the most pressing social realities today, applicable not just to the American South, but also here in Cornwall, and indeed globally. Natasha's poetry speaks to issues including art's power to connect us to our history, to our contemporary moment, and each other. What knowledge is, how it can captivate, but also hold us captive. How shared ways of looking and speaking are created. How these have been passed down across centuries, as well as intimately through families. Natasha's ekphrastic poems have also strikingly questioned such legacies, specifically how ideas about race and difference were codified in the Enlightenment and make their way into the present. She has uniquely captured what it feels like to be in thrall to art, to history, to inheritance, to beauty. Natasha has published 4 such historically and artistically engaged poetic collections. In 2001, her very first volume, Domestic Work, won not only the inaugural Cave Canon Poetry Prize, but also the Mississippi Institute of Arts and Letters Book Prize, and the Lillian Smith Award for Poetry. There then followed 2 books, Belloc's Ophelia and Native Guard, which won Natasha the 2007 Pulitzer Prize in Poetry. Most recently came Thrall in 2012, the year in which Natasha was elected to the prestigious American Academy of Arts and Sciences. In addition, in 2010, Natasha published a book of nonfiction, Beyond Katrina, a meditation on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Natasha's many honors and awards also include fellowships from the National Endowment for the Arts, the Guggenheim and Rockefeller Foundations, Yale's Beinecke Library, and Harvard's Radcliffe Institute for Advanced Study. On top of this, Natasha has held several distinguished professorships in North American academia. Currently at Northwestern University, she is a Board of Trustees Professor of English. Prior to that, she was Robert W. Woodruff Professor of English and Creative Writing at Emory University, Atlanta. Last year, in March 2017, Natasha did us the immense honor of traveling to Cornwall for the first time to lead 2 very special days of public literary activities. She came all the way from Atlanta with her husband Brett to recite and speak to us about her poetry and the history of ideas. She gave a public lecture at the Penryn campus and a sellout public poetry reading at the Falmouth Art Gallery. Natasha's reading and lecture brought together enthusiastic, captivated audiences from across Penryn and Falmouth. These included local people, writers and artists, curators, historians, as well as students and staff from Exeter's Penryn and Streatham campuses. Her powerful, deeply personal readings and reflections took her audiences on a journey through memory and testimony, the family, the genesis of identity and art, to the role of writing today and the struggle for equality and justice. I think I speak with many people when I say we are privileged to have such an inspiring poet and public intellectual with us again today. It is our pleasure now to welcome Natasha here among us as our honorary graduate. Chancellor, it is indeed my honor to present Ms. Natasha Trethewey for the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
honour and privilege to award you the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
I now invite our honorary graduate, Natasha Trethewey, to address the congregation.
Vice-Chancellor, greetings to all of you on this momentous occasion. It is indeed a great honor for me to share this special day with you, the graduating class of 2018. In a time of great divisions, the academic exercises in which we are taking part remind me not of what might separate us, but what links us, our shared commitments to education, to the pursuit of knowledge. As an American, it is also particularly meaningful for me to be here in Cornwall, this place to which I am connected by my father's ancestors. Like me, my father, the late Eric Trethewey, was also a poet and professor of literature and one of my earliest teachers. When I was a small child, we'd often take long walks in the afternoon. He'd point out the different trees and flowers we passed, telling me their names. I'd sing the names back to him: catalpa, live oak, crepe myrtle, sycamore, reveling in the sounds. We'd collect leaves or blossoms, studying them so that I would remember. These afternoons comprised some of my earliest lessons in poetry, that there is music in language, and that one must look closely at the world, gathering the gifts of experience, sharpening one's powers of observation. These lessons have carried me through my life not only as a poet, but also as a citizen of the world. I remember one day early in my career that I was perusing the stacks at a library. Like a flower, the bright yellow spine of a book caught my attention. On it, a rendering of a deerstalker cap, like the one Sherlock Holmes wore, and a magnifying glass. The title was The Historian as Detective. Opening it, I was struck by 3 titles I saw in the table of contents. They speak to me now as emblematic of the advice for the journey I'm proposing. The first one, on believing what one reads. The critical skills you've learned, the critical thinking skills you've honed during your time here are even more crucial now with the proliferation of websites publishing fraudulent information in order to sway the minds of people not willing to do the work of critical thinking. People who would rather simply believe anything that affirms their own assumptions, that does not challenge their deeply ingrained and unexamined notions about the world. Don't be ignorant of history, fooled by the false narratives of those who lie about the past for their own ends. Don't squander the years you've spent here by becoming complacent as a reader and not challenging your own assumptions as well as the unsubstantiated claims of others. Ask questions. Remember the primacy of evidence. 2. What is evidence? I don't need to tell you. You have spent years now considering the nature of evidence. You have learned how to discern the difference between worthy sources of information and ones that are not, to seek multiple sources, to fact-check, to hold yourself to the highest standards of truth-seeking even when you were confronted with information that you did not like, even when a difficult truth, substantiated by evidence, demanded that you rethink what you thought you knew, and changing how you must see yourself, history, the world, and your place in it. 3. On the pleasures of doubt. Ignorance is not knowing how much you do not know, wallowing in certitude. The person who revels in the pleasures of doubt knows what she does not know, is humbled by it, and invigorated, compelled to pursue knowledge not simply as an end, but as a means for the ongoing enlightenment of the soul. Having no doubt means you question nothing, least of all your own assumptions. This journey, this ongoing pursuit of knowledge, isn't simply a knowledge of facts, not just an intellectual knowledge, but an emotional knowledge in which one's ability to practice empathy is wisdom. Remember the Exeter motto, "We follow the light." Graduates, on this bright day, there is still darkness all around us, but we have a choice. Not only can we follow the light, we can become it. In the words of the great Persian poet Rumi, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Who among us has not endured some wound, great or small, that made an opening through which the light might enter, illuminating the places within where empathy and compassion and desire for justice dwell? As my father wrote, a generous thought is the idea of justice taking root. What a great privilege it is to have come this far in your education. Commence today, then, not the end of it, but the beginning of your lifelong pursuit of knowledge, enlightenment, the ongoing ennobling of your generous souls. Congratulations to you all. Thank you.
Some of our graduates can't be with us today for reasons of travel or work or holidays, or possibly they just put the wrong date in their diaries. Whatever the reason, we confer their degrees upon them in absentiam and congratulate them.
I now call upon Dean Pomeroy of FXU to give the student vote of thanks.
Good morning, graduates. It is my privilege to be the first to address you as graduates and say, congratulations, you did it. Late nights in the library, long winter days wearing flip-flops, far too many pasties, and of course, those unforgettable nights at Club International. They've all led to you sitting here collecting your degree. For many of you, this may have been a truly difficult journey at times, a steep mountain to climb. But however you got here, this is your day to celebrate a huge achievement, so make this moment count. Take a breath and remember this moment. Not just on your phones, but here, now. Take the time to mentally raise a glass and be proud of everything you've achieved. Not just getting your degree, but everything else you've accomplished too. The fundraising, the volunteering, and getting involved in the local community. Wherever the world is taking you next, whether that's sticking around here or flying to a far-flung outpost, never forget the memories you've made here in Cornwall. And of course, please have a photo with the Exeter Rock. At this point, we must not forget to do some thank yous. Firstly, to the family that have, through the highs and the lows, provided you with unconditional support and were always just a phone call away. I'm sure if they're anything like mine, then you already have a million photos and they've told you how proud they are just a few times. But through all the madness, we should take the time to thank them for their enormous contributions to you being sat here today. I also want to thank the academics and the staff at the University of Exeter who support students from their first steps on campus all the way through to graduation and beyond. They challenge us, channel our ambitions into reality, and give us time to fashion new solutions to real problems. And lastly, to your friends. Most of us come to Cornwall without knowing a soul, and the people that you sit amongst today, that you've laughed with, studied with, and of course, surfed with, will be your friends for life. I honestly believe that studying in Cornwall brings us closer together. It truly is a unique and special place that nowhere else in the world can match, and it is a fantastic place to meet your true friends. So let's show our appreciation to all the amazing people that have made your time in Cornwall so special. So what now? Some of you will know where you're going next, some of you won't, but it doesn't matter, because in this moment, let me tell you, you can go wherever you want and you can do whatever you want. And though saying goodbye to Cornwall may be hard, remember that we will miss you, and no matter how far you go, Cornwall will never leave you. The memories you have made here will be a part of who you are forever. But whatever you do, make your life spectacular. Congratulations, class of 2018, and good luck.
Thank you very much to you personally and to the FXU, our student body, who play such an important part in the life of the university and of our campus. The social, cultural and sporting activities are absolutely first class, but a particular thanks to you for the support which FXU provides for our students. The happy, confident, joyous people who walked across these steps in the last 3/4 of an hour have not always been like that. Many of them have had stress and distress. Many of them came to university here in Cornwall as the first time that they spent away from home for at least a serious period. Some in a different country. FXU plays a tremendous part in providing support to those members of our student committee, along with the university, and we're very, very grateful to you. Thank you, Dean. I'd also like to express one or two other thanks. To our honorary graduates, I think we had two absolutely marvellous speeches this morning. I'd urge you to, when you look at your DVD of the, or whatever it is now, probably something comes down from somewhere up the clouds, to listen to their words, because they were so rich in their advice and their guidance and support. Mr. Mayor, I would like also to thank the people of Falmouth and Penryn. We are guests in your community. We seek to be polite, constructive, good guests. I think we largely are. We certainly bring great benefit to the economy of Cornwall, but there are the occasional late nights when it's suggested it might be students who are making the noise. It's an allegation, I have no idea whether it's true, although as a Cornishman I have to say it was good to hear from Dean that the Club International still exists. I'm pretty sure I went there on the moor when I was a youngster here in Truro and I was looking for the bright lights of Falmouth. But thank you, sir, and to the citizens of Falmouth and Penryn for your hospitality and support to the university. I'd also like to thank our professional staff. Our academic staff are evident to you today, but our professional staff are the folk who make sure that the university works. We are a complex community of people, and it's a challenge, and I think they do it very well. So thank you to them. And then I do come to our academic staff, some of whom are with the Vice-Chancellor today on the stage. These are the people who have cajoled, encouraged, inspired the curiosity and learning of our graduates today. It's very nice to look at the smiles as the graduates come up to shake my hand. They look at the academics behind, and some of them mouth a little thank you or a smile, which is very, very touching. Some of them look over to the academic and said, "I bet you didn't think you'd see me here, did you?" Well, they are here, and congratulations to them. So, finally, graduates, I don't think there's anything that I can add to the messages that you've already had from Dean and from our honorary graduates. You have achieved much. You deserve to be proud but not smug, to feel good but not to be complacent. But you're at an inflection point in your life. You're at a moment when you will make decisions which will take you into a different elevation, a different direction. The Vice-Chancellor, Sir Steve Smith, talked about education being transformative. This is my hometown. I was brought up here. I spent the first 18 years of my life in Truro. I can certainly testify to the transformative impact of education in opening up opportunities. I hope you will be able to build upon your learnings here, your academic learning, but also your learnings about your fellow men and women, and about yourself. I hope you will use this moment to recommit to work to the best of your abilities, to not only do good for yourself, but do good for other people. Good things don't happen naturally. They require good people to do them. And I urge you to take up the challenge of that mantle of using your advantage, your education, the love and support you've enjoyed from those here today and around you, to continue, whether it's in your personal life, your career, or your civic lives, to be good people and to have a positive impact. But that may be for tomorrow. For today, rejoice, celebrate, the sun shines, you're in Cornwall, tremendously beautiful and wonderful place. And I hope you will stay forever linked not only with the university, because we want to have a continuing relationship with you. We want you to come back to campus. We want you to have class celebrations. We want you to remain in contact with the sources of learning in the university. But we also, from the perspective of Cornwall, and I'm sure the Mayor would join me in this, we want you to believe that from this moment forward, you're at the very minimum honorary Cornish people, and that this place will be somewhere where you will always feel at home and to which you will always want to make a commitment, because the opening of the university, the joint campus in Falmouth, was probably the best thing that happened in this county since the construction of the Tamar Bridge in 1859. It is a very, very significant impact. And it is you that's really made that the achievement that it has been. So thank you very much from the people of Cornwall for everything which you graduates have brought to Cornwall, your enthusiasm, your joy, your aspirations. We look forward to that continuing to have an important factor in our local community life. With that, I declare the graduation ceremony closed. Thank you.